ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ वर्स् 21 वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम्। So hey Partha, O Arjuna, ya enam atmanam veda, one who knows this atma, how he knows? Avinashinam, indestructible, nityam, timeless. Anityam means which is bound in time. And then of course when this particular thing which is bound in time, if you know the reality in terms of mithya, that's all the difference between the two words is. So it's a good question. What is the difference between anityam and mithya? Mithya is an understanding of a object which is anityam. Anityam is time bound and timeless is atma. So atma which is timeless is called satyam, and the object which is time bound, it is called mithya. So mithya is not indicating an object, anityam is indicating an object. Mithya is simply telling the reality of that object which is time bound. So that is how we should understand between mithya and mithya is not anityam is indicating an object. Mithya doesn't indicate a object. Mithya gives me the status of understanding of the reality. That's all it is. It's that is how it is. It is different. Both the words have a different meaning. So this is just for the knowledge. And Atma, which is timeless, its understanding of reality is called Satyam. So Satyam and Mithya are not indicating directly the objects. Satyam and Mithya are our understanding of the reality of the objects. One is a Mithya, which is which is existent with a one which has a borrowed existence, and Atma is something self-existent. What is self-existent is Satyam, and what is having a borrowed existence is Mithya. So it is our understanding of the reality of the objects. Object will be called Nityam or it will be called Anityam. Atma is Nityam, Anatma is Anityam. Well, and Satya and Mithya are just understanding of those objects in terms of that is self-existent and this is dependent existence. So borrowed exists he exists with a borrowed existence. So this is how Atma is Nityam. Here Atma is directly indicated as a Nityam, which is timeless. And then Ajam, unborn, Avyayam, not subject to decline. Vyaya means decline, expenditure, etc. I have given you the meaning. So, Katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. How does this person kill? I mean, he doesn't kill. One who, one who knows this Atma as akarta, well, how does he kill? He doesn't kill. I mean, Atma doesn't kill. That's all it means. Atma has no kartrutva. And whom does that person kill? Well, he doesn't kill anybody. Whom does he cause to kill? How does he cause to kill? Etc. How does he cause to kill? How does he impel others to kill? How does he impel others to kill? Whom does he impel others to kill? Well, he doesn't impel anybody. It's like, the driver and the person who is sitting behind who is in a driver's seat and the other one who is sitting beside it. Well, both are drivers. Both are drivers. One impels others to drive. One impels the driver to drive. Please, could you follow? So he also has a kartrutva. And that person who drives also has a kartrutva. So this is how it is. Both types of people are there, who themselves do not even lift even a straw, but they make others to do the things. That's how they are. So anyway, but this person Atma has no kartrutva. Atma does not prompt also anybody to do any action. Atma is just actionless. It's by nature. And therefore, Atma has no kartrutvam has been indicated by this verse. And definitely it has no bhoktrutvam also, we should understand. And how can I gain this knowledge of Akartru Atma? Better you concentrate on I am Satchidananda. That's all it is. You need not have to remove Kartrutvam like that. I am going to say about it. There is no real Kartrutvam as such. The Kartrutvam is simply a notion. Well, the Jiva itself is a notion. I am an individual is a first notion. That's what I told you yesterday. I am an Ahankara. I am an individual. Well, itself is a notion. That's the first notion. From Avidya mother, the first child is born is this, Ahankara. And it is just nothing but it is a mind alone. And therefore, Ahankara is a part of the mind. Because it is Aham Vritti, I thought. And I thought I gets reflected in the I thought. And therefore, in absence of the knowledge of my real self, I take that reflection of myself as myself. That's all the thing is. And therefore, definitely, and the reflection and the medium can never be separated. So I take myself as with a I sense only. And that it belongs to the mind. So I take the mind also as myself. Then I take senses also as myself. Then I take prana also as myself. And the entire subtle body is pervaded in this gross body. Then I take the whole gross body also as myself. Then Swamiji, it should extend. Where can it extend? The subtle body cannot extend beyond the gross body. Well, it is going to come, of course, in Tattva Bodha. But I am just telling you, because this is the occasion to tell you. So, the subtle body cannot pervade more than this physical body. And therefore, the subtle body, once I say that this I sense, the I thought, in which I get reflected, and if I take myself as this, just an aham, ahankara, then everything, ahankara has a one nature. Nothing belongs to ahankara, but he claims everything. So, ahankara has nothing of its own. In fact, there is no entity called ahankara. There is no entity. Really speaking, there is no entity. If you look into, that's how Vidyaranya has looked into. In his chapter 8, he has looked into this ahankara itself. There they call it as a Chidabhasa, etc. Well, it is the same thing, of course. But what I am saying is, there is no real entity called individual. So, then it claims, the individual claims more. I am a human being, I am good person, I am that person, I am male and female and whatnot. I am hungry, thirsty, and I am black, and I am white, and I am this and that, and etc. etc. So many claims done by this ahankara, and the ahankara itself doesn't exist. Then where to question of I am karta and bhokta, etc. It's not that. The attributes of all the anatmas in which the ahankara pervades, all the attributes it takes it on its own. That's how it is. And therefore ahankara pervades to the mind, all attributes of mind he tells that it is mine. Then it pervades senses. Then he claims also. Even though the eyes see, definitely, but it says, I am the seer. You will always find no one says that I see and ears hear and etc. No one says, no smells, no one says. I am a smell, I'm taking the smell. I am a seer, I am a hearer. I am the one who is, taking the taste of the various, items. So that is how I is all the time at it. That is called ahankara. Without, it should not claim. I sense has I have nothing to claim on the senses and on the prana, etc. All these things are anatma, but ahankara has nothing to claim because there is no entity called ahankara. And therefore, and by the way, this ahankara, Swamiji, looks conscious, but is it considered as atma or anatma? It is anatma, by the way. Please, if I forget before that, let me tell you this. Ahankara has been included in the mind itself. And therefore, but Swamiji, it is conscious, therefore it should be considered atma. It is reflection, sir. It is reflection. And in reflection means it is just a abhasa. And therefore, reflected consciousness is not, ultimately reflected consciousness has existence because of the original. And therefore, ahankara also is included in anatma. I am the witness of, just as I am a witness of the senses, I am witness of the prana, I am witness of the mind, same way I am witness of the eye sense. And that's how Ramana Maharshi says in Upadesh Saram, one should go even beyond this I thought. And then, one should do analysis of ahankara, etc. Then one finds that oneself as a witness of ahankara. So this thing we should keep in mind. Even though ahankara looks conscious, please don't include in the atma category. Atma is atma, and the consciousness is one alone. Ekameva dvitiyam. So even though other things looks conscious, but they are basically anatma only. That is, ahankara looks conscious. And even the body looks conscious, everything looks conscious. Ahankara pervades everywhere. And therefore body right now has a sentiency. Mind has a sentiency, senses have a sentiency everywhere. And prana also have a sentiency, everything has a sentiency. Whole thing is basically anatma alone because everything is, everything revealing itself through the Chidabhasa. Anyway, so this is by the way. So one should gain the knowledge. How? No, this is question, how can I gain the knowledge of Akartru Atma? Well, the knower only has to gain this knowledge. Knower has the ignorance that I am a knower, I am a doer, etc. He has an ignorance about himself or herself. And removal of the ignorance is the knowledge. And for that, there should be a Jnana Vritti which can remove this Ajnanam. And this Jnana Vritti is, I am just consciousness. I am witness of even ahankara. I am witness of the mind. Mind has attributes, I have nothing to do with that. They are just projected on me. I am simply just existence, self-existent consciousness, limitless consciousness. That's my nature. Everything what appears to me, what is evident to me, is not myself. And therefore even the kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam and any other thing about in the mind, all the attributes are evident to you. That's how you are able to talk about your mind to the others also. And therefore everything is evident to you. What is evident to me is not me. This is Mahavakya for us right now. What is evident to me is not me. What is known to me is not me. That's all. That's all it is. What is known to me is not me. And that this sutra is not given by Swami or etc. This you know very well. Only centered on the self, this confusion is there. The known and knower got mixed up. Subject object got mixed up somehow, and I have given you the reason why it has mixed up, etc. Well, that is now that's enough. So basically one should gain this knowledge that I am not a karta, I am just a Satchidananda, and I have no limbs to perform the action. And if you are agent of an action, you need instruments. Well, a carpenter needs instruments to work upon. Wood, and therefore then I should have instruments if I am Atma is a Karta. Well, what are the instruments? No instruments. No, Swamiji, senses are all instruments. That's for Ahankara only. That's not for Atma. Because they are all projected. They are projected on Atma, and therefore Atma doesn't need it. Atma does not have any parts even to start the action. No parts. It is Niravayava. So Atma has no parts. Anything which has a parts has a form. Anything which has a certain parts put together in a certain fashion, well, it has a form. The thing which has no parts is a formless. What is formless is limitless. That's how it is. That's how, especially in terms of space, I am limitless when I say, well, I have no parts. If I have no parts, then how I am going to act upon? How I am going to act upon? These are the questions you should ask. And then you realize yourself as just self-revealing, self-existent consciousness which is limitless in terms of time, in terms of space. This is my nature, and therefore how can I be Atma? How can I is a karta? Well, it's not possible. Well, this kind of a jnana vritti when arises, it will remove the ignorance pertaining to the Atma. I mean, kartrutvam is negated. Now, kartrutvam is negated, we have to look into this negation part. We have to understand very thoroughly this thing. See, there are two types of negation. One is a physical negation. And like when you make a curd, yogurt from the milk. Once that milk transforms into a yogurt, milk is negated. You yourself will tell there is no milk now. There is no milk. It's a negation. It's a physical negation. This is a physical negation. A particular form transforms into another form. That's called physical negation. And other negation is, and that particular first negation, that is physical negation, is called nishedha in Sanskrit. And here we are doing a negation that Atma is not a karta, etc. Well, it is not a physical negation. Here there is Atma is transformed into, Atma which is karta is transformed into a akarta Atma. Well, that is nothing like that. Atma's nature is that it is akarta. And therefore, it is not a transformation. Well, then what kind of a negation Bhagavan is talking about here? Well, it is called badha, the negation by knowledge. First is a physical negation called nishedaha. Second is a negation, and that negation is in terms of knowledge. So, the kartrutva buddhi is negated here, that Atma is. Kartrutva buddhi means I am kartas. Such a kind of a notion is, buddhi means here notion. Kartrutva buddhi means I am a karta of a particular action, or a bhokta also of a particular action. Well, that is negated. And that is negated by knowledge. And that is called badha in Vedanta. Badha. So, because, why Swamiji you are talking? Because the problem is, like the Bhagavan himself is, driving a chariot of Arjuna. Bhagavan right now is giving a upadesha to Arjuna. Right? He is talking. He is driving a, 1 minute, somebody has come. He is driving, he is talking, and Arjuna is a witness of, he was with Bhagavan since several years, and he has seen Bhagavan doing varieties of the things, killing the people and what not. Everything, as a negotiator he has gone. So he is doing so much of action, and such an Atma says, Bhagavan says, I am not an agent of an action. Well, it is a contradiction. It's a contradiction. So that seems to be, like Arjuna seems to be, asking, seems to be. It is not see here. But Arjuna could have said to Krishna that you are performing action of talking to me, etc. also right now. And then how can you tell me that Atma or you are akarta? Bhagavan says, I am akarta. Tasya kartaram api mam viddhi akartaram. Bhagavan says, viddhi akartaram. Viddhi means may you know. Hey Arjuna, may you know akartaram, I am not a karta. Oh, you are doing so much. And you yourself claim that you have created the universe, you are the sustainer of the universe, everything resolves into you as per your wish. You are in which whole creation resolves. And you take avatara for establishing dharma, etc. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam. and etc. And you are, I mean, in the whole of your life is you are busy, 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 busy. So much activity. And you say, I'm not doing anything. How can I understand this? It is vadato vyagata. In Sanskritam, they call it as vadato vyagata. Vadato vyagata means, vadataha vyagata. Vyagata means a contradiction. Vadataha, while speaking, this person meets me in a dining hall and tells me, Swamiji, I am observing this silence, maunam, since 20 years. Could you follow what I am saying? He is telling me, I am observing silence since 20 years. Sir, at this moment, what are you doing? You are speaking to me. Where is the silence? Anyway, this is called, while he is speaking, there is a contradiction. Same way, Bhagavan also is, anyway, Bhagavan, by the way, between Rama and Krishna, the Krishna was always, all his activity was having, with full of contradictions. Anyway, so he can tell even like that, no problem. But we should understand, there is a beauty here, very beautifully said here. Bhagavan says this, he is in his senses, he doesn't just bluff. So, Arjuna could have asked this kind of thing, you are speaking to me right now, and I know I am a witness of all your activity, etc. in the past also. And you are driving a chariot for me also. We have come to Kurukshetra. Everything is you have done, and still you are saying I am akarta. I am not doing anything. I feel, even though you say, but you are doing a lot of things, and therefore I consider you as a Ajnani. Then what are you going to teach me? If you are Ajnani, you are giving me advice of that you are akarta, etc. And you yourself is a big karta. So the question basically is, a Jnani Purusha who knows himself as a karta, how can he does activity? Even how come this Adi Shankaracharya has done so much establishing the mathas and all this bhashyam and everything, commentaries and what not, he has done so much in a short span of life. So basically, a person who knows oneself as akarta, he will not do anything. Instead, we see that they do much more than even Ajnani also. And that is the contradiction. And for that, we should understand this particular negation. When Bhagavan says, I am not karta, Atma is not a karta, well, that negation is what kind of a negation? We have to understand this. This is not a physical negation, and this negation is rampant. This negation is rampant in science. Science does one thing alone. What we perceive and we believe it is so, science comes and tells it is not. It is not. It starts with blue sky. I say there is a blue sky. I perceive it, and therefore there is a blue sky. Where he says it is not. Then sunrise. I say the sun is rising. Sun does an action of rising from the east and going to the west, giving the energy to the entire earth and other things. And therefore, the rising action is done by the sun. And I am seeing also that it is rising in the east and going to the west, etc. Well, the sun actually does not rise. Science comes and tells. So there is a conclusion that the sun rises, and because you see it is rising, well, you perceive it still, and therefore it is true. Don't say that. Don't say that. Even from your angle, the sun is doing an action of a rising and setting in, rising in the east and setting in the west. Still, science comes and tells, well, there is no sunrise. Could you follow? There is no sunrise. This negation is a very beautiful negation. The negation in the science is the negation in Vedanta. Even though perceptually you see everything, still, really it is not there. Really it is not there. This is how we have to understand. Now I have not to explain you whether the sun rises or not, you know very well. So sun rising becomes only an appearance, and therefore it is not a real rising, and there is no real action of rising on the part of the sun. So seeing the sunrise you negate the sunrise. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Seeing the sunrise, you negate the sunrise. And after negation of the sunrise, every day you see the sunrise. Could you follow? Every day you see the sunrise and you keep negating also. Still you will see the sunrise. You keep negating also. This is how it is. This is a different kind of negation. Negation by the knowledge of science. And so definitely this is negation by, this particular kind of a negation is called badha, knowledge. You see and still you negate. You see and still you negate. I mean, the sunrise is just an appearance, nothing more than that. Because you perceive it, and therefore you should not say there is no sunrise at all. Now I have learned from science, and therefore there is no sunrise. But next morning you will see sunrise by 7:30 or 7 o'clock or whatever it may be. So you see the sunrise. Today you negate and tomorrow you will see. So it's an appearance. Sunrise is an appearance. And this is even physicists also, this badha or kind of a negation is done by a great physicist also. A physicist says that gold is nothing but, just some quanta of energy. Copper is also some quanta of energy. And then it doesn't mean that he is seeing the energy. Please understand that. In his perception there is a gold. In his perception there is a copper. In his mind, with his knowledge of physics, he definitely negates copper and gold. Not in a perceptual he negates. In a knowledge, by knowledge wise, he definitely negates it. And therefore, basically, and that is how, suppose he is a very young person and now he got engaged to a girl, then definitely he goes and buys a ring. He will not say he will buy a golden ring. I mean, he will not buy, because just because gold and copper is same, it's just an energy in his mind. He will not bother about it and he will buy a copper ring. No. He will buy gold ring only. And therefore, basically, what I am saying is, what you see perceptually will not, what you see perceptually is negated in your understanding. That is called badha. Knowledge wise you do negation. Same way here. The person does lot of activity. This jnani person, the wise person does lot of activity, and somebody has. So wise person does lot of activity. Neither on his part he is doing anything. Even though his limbs all are active, his senses are active, his mind is active, his whole body is active. So perceptually he also sees that he is very active. In terms of body, mind, sense complex. But knowledge, he has a knowledge that the conscious being, I am the conscious being, or consciousness, does not perform any action. That is his knowledge. Perceptually he sees activity, and even others also see. Like Arjuna, etc., sees that the Bhagwan is talking, etc. Bhagwan is driving his chariot, etc. And Bhagwan has done so much of things even in the past. Everything perceptually, even though everything is there, but knowledge-wise, knowledge of the Shastra, that is self-knowledge, which tells that Atma is Akarta, that with this knowledge is this Kartrutvam, etc., is negative. Satchidananda Atma cannot perform any action, is a truth of everything. But Swamiji, for ignorant people, their Atma performs any action or not, that is also not there. That's also not there. Ahankara performs action. Ahankara performs action because the consciousness reflected in the I thought, and definitely Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutam are there in the mind, and this Ahankara claims that it is the mind. Ahankara, and therefore the Kartrutvam, Bhoktrutam, which belongs to the mind, also belongs to the Ahankara. And he says, I am Karta, I am Bhokta, etc. That is just at the level of Ahankara. I am the witness of even Ahankara. I am witness of the presence of Ahankara. I am witness of the absence of Ahankara. Everything. How can you say, Swamiji, somebody asked me How can you say, Swamiji, you are a witness of Ahankara? Well, because the rise of the Ahankara and the setting of Ahankara, like the sunrise and sunset, you are a witness. Same way, when you get up, the very first thought is Aham, I thought. So Aham Vritti arises, and Ahankara does all the chores during waking state and even in a dream state. Well, Ahankara resolves, sets down, and well, that you are witness of it, and therefore the rising and setting of Ahankara is witnessed by you. You are just consciousness. In your presence, Ahankara arises and sets down. As a waker, as a dreamer, etc. Or as even sleeper. Even though it is a rudimentary Ahankara, but it is there. And they keep on coming and going. Well, I am witness in all the three states. That's how they say Avasthatraya Sakshi. Sakshi means a witness. Witness of Avasthatraya means not just waking state, but I am a witness of even the waker, dreamer or deep sleeper. So that's how it has been told. They come and go. Sleeper comes and goes and now turns to waker, and waker now comes and goes, and then dreamer comes and goes. These are all happening. I am the very basis, the witness, I am the consciousness in which all this they arise. Definitely the reflection can arise when I am there. Sun's reflection can arise only when the sun is there. Otherwise, how can the reflection arise? Therefore, Ahankara is just a reflected consciousness, nothing more than that. And therefore, I am a witness of everything. I am not a karta, I am not a bhokta. With this, the ignorance pertaining to the Atma also goes. And so while performing karma, this sarva karma sannyasam is this person who has no more a notion of a kartrutvam, and he sees that he has a freedom from action. He is not free, he is doing a lot of activity, but he has freedom from the notion that I am the doer of action. But what is the advantage of knowing? It's a big advantage. We generally get tired not of actions. We get tired because of this doership. We get tired by doership, not by doing action. Sometimes you in the morning itself you have done a few things only. Still you feel you are tired because that load of this kartrutva, doership. And because whenever you consider yourself as an agent of an action, lots of anxiety. If you take yourself as an agent of an action, let's say, right, I'm giving you my own example. Like I have to speak something before you at 4:10, you will be present here. And then if I take myself as a speaker of these things, I have a lot of load, lot of anxiety. How will my performance will be then this, etc., etc. Whether you will like it or not. All problems. If I don't have that and still I can perform action, well, that is called actionlessness. Actionlessness means the actions are done at the level of body, mind, sense complex without this notion of a doership. But Swamiji, so Jnani does not have a doership at all. If there is no doership, there cannot be an action. Very good question. If there is no doership, well, action itself will not rise. Because the whole action is centered on the doer. If doer is not there, where is action? And so in grammar, they always say this. For an action, you require a lot of accessories. And the very first accessory, and which cannot be replaced, and that is the doer. If doer is there, everything will take place. And doer means the agent of an action. If it is not there, well, there is no action taking place. But we see that the Jnani Purusha are performing so many actions. So doership must be there. Yeah, it is there. Then what are you speaking? Do you consider as a fool or what? You are saying he is free from the notion of doership. Yeah, but please understand, perceptually it is there. He experiences as a doer himself, but by knowledge he has denied. That's what I mean. Badaha means this. Knowledge-wise you have denied that you are just consciousness. Well, in my presence this ahankara etc. does the action. And for ahankara, well, it is in the I thought I have got reflected, and therefore I always say that I have done this action. even though you say like that, so that the doer is there, but already Badha has taken place, negation has taken place. What we call this as a Mithya Ahankara. We sometimes call it as a Badit Ahankara. Acharyas use these words, Badit Ahankara. Means Ahankara which is being negated by knowledge. And therefore, with that Badit Ahankara, he does all the actions. It is there, but the reality has gone. Kartrutvam in him is just an appearance, because Ahankara itself is an appearance for a Jnani. The very eye sense is a appearance for him. He knows this Ahankara fully dependent upon me for its existence and for its revelation. Ahankara looks conscious, not that it is self-conscious. Well, Ahankara is conscious because of the reflected consciousness. I am the consciousness. Well, I get reflected in that I thought, which is a medium like mirror, and that is how the action takes place. And it will take place. Reflection will be there all the time. As long as the mirror and the sun both are there, reflection is going to be there. You cannot avoid it. You have to remove the mirror. You have to break the mirror. But if they are there, they will contact each other. Well, in that case, the reflection is going to be there. You cannot avoid it. Reflection is mithya, that negation you can do. You cannot, totally, you cannot say that I will not experience now reflection at all. You will experience reflection. Still you will negate it as just an appearance. This is how this negation is very important. This Badha is so important for us. We negate everything. Like science, Vedanta also negates everything. And that is how many people are not able to digest this thing. Well, I say the body, I am not the body. Then you say, what is this? I know this body is myself, and everybody in the creation, in this 600 billion people, everyone says. And you are the one who are champion. You are telling that I am not the body. Who are you to tell us like that? If that is the truth, then everyone should tell that, even after the birth, that I am not the body, I am consciousness, I am Satchidananda, etc. But nobody tells. Even after we teach them, they are not able to tell. That's what the problem is. And therefore, Vedanta also does negation only. Neti neti iti hovacha. When Brihadaranyaka Yajnavalkya said, neti neti, na iti. I am a human being. No. I am a Brahmin. No. I am Grihastha. No. Oh, I am having a lot. I am 6 feet tall. No. Sir, you are not 6 feet tall. You are pervading entire creation. What are you talking, Swami? What nonsense you are talking about? I am a 6 feet tall. I have so much of weight. I am a householder. You are a sannyasi. Well, whatever you are saying regarding the self, all is useless. Vedanta says this with lots of courage, tremendous courage. And if you are ready, we are ready to prove it. If you have that Shraddha, that yes, I want to understand. I don't want to question, but I want to understand it. Well, we are ready to prove it. You should have that Shraddha alone. That's all it is. That's all it is. So therefore, all negations which we do by neti is just a Badha. It's Badha. So afterwards also, after negating this, I am not a Sthula Sharira. Tomorrow I will say I am a human being and I am a Swami. And I have this much height. And now I am hungry. Etc. I am going to tell it. I am going to tell it also. Then what, Swami? This is all Ajnana. What are you going to teach us? What are you going to teach us? If you don't know about the self, what are you going to teach about the self to us? Please understand, this Badha is a very important thing. That's how I brought the science in. Science does the same thing. What you perceive, they say it is not true. You say the twinkle, twinkle star. They say there are no twinkle. They are not twinkle. They are Maharakshasas. They will consume this kind of earths, so many. It's what a beauty. You can understand the knowledge can negate what you perceive. What you perceive, you take it real. Knowledge can say, your perception, let it be. And it will continue. Only the reality part has been taken away. That's all it is. It is not real. Therefore, the whole empirical world, before the knowledge of the Vedanta dawns into you, whole empirical world, you consider as a real. After knowing, you will say it is appearance. That's what it is. So that appearance continues. That is what mithya is. Mithya means it continues. Seemingly existence, appearance. Even after knowledge, what continues is mithya. Please understand this. Other than that, what is non-existence and what you negate? What a big deal! Like a horn of a Swami. I have a horn in my head. Well, you are negating. What a big deal you are doing. There's nothing. There is no science in this. It's simple perception is enough. Simple perception is enough. It's but if something you see, perceive it and taken as a real, well, I have to say, don't take it as a real. That negation is called Bhagavad. What you consider as a real has turned to mithya now. And that is this negation part, the mithyatvam, is very difficult to digest by many people because of the old samskaras and taking the body as a self, and so they feel really restless. They become so uneasy listening that I am not the physical body. Shall I give you an example or not? I don't know. Pujya Swamiji came to Ahmedabad in I think in maybe in 89 or something. I'm not sure of the year. And Swamiji gave the talks in university on who am I. And 3 days talk were there. And that was my first exposure. That was the second exposure, I'm sorry. So I went on a second day. And and then Swamiji was narrating this thing. I am not this physical body. Physical body is something which is known, etc. All this, he was narrating all this. And I was sitting and one couple came and they also sat along with me in the chair. They also came, some of the part has gone of the lecture and they have come. They were latecomers. And they came, and at that time Swamiji was said, therefore I am not this gross body. Swamiji said like that. And this couple, that lady, they, she draws the attention of her husband and said, what this Swami is talking? I am not this physical body. I am not interested to listen to this. She spoke so loudly that even I was able to hear that. And both got up and went away. Both got up and went away immediately. This is how the thing is. Nobody is ready to accept. I am not this physical body. But once you really inquire, very discriminating inquiry in the Vedanta helps you. Yeah, that's the correct thing. Anyway, this is called Bhagavad. Negation of the physical body, which is perceptible, which has a sound, which has a touch, which has a smell, everything, it's perception. And still able to negate. And after negating, still, throughout the prarabdha, you will say, I am the body. Throughout the prarabdha, you will say, I am the body. The way actor tells that I am a beggar. Actor knows his reality, who he is, and yet, throughout the shooting, he continues to tell, I am the beggar. Not only that, he may identify with the beggar role beautifully. If he doesn't identify, I don't think he will get a next film. And therefore, he has to identify also with that role. As if, and when, when he expresses his tragedy in his life, in that film, he really is so happy inside. He is putting a glycerin and, bringing out the tears. But he is sure that whoever sees this movie and he will see in this kind of a state to offer me, well, they are going to cry. And thinking of that itself, while crying, he is so much enjoying inside. So much joy he has. That is exactly the wise person is. This is exactly the wise person is. He knows the reality. There is a space between I, the doer, and I, the consciousness. Please understand this. He says, I am just a witness. I am being a witness of even the ahankara. Being a witness of I am a doer, well, has given him enough space. Well, and that space is called actionlessness. And therefore, such a person who really even in the in daily chores so active, but he knows himself that he is not a doer of an action. He is one. He sees himself as actionless, and well, he has no more load of that notion. I am the doer is a big load. Swamiji, what does it create? It creates so many things. And the very first thing which is created, which no human being wants, and that is called guilt. When you take yourself as an agent of action, when you take yourself as a karta, well, guilt is unavoidable. You will always feel that why did I do this action? Why did not I do that action? Why did I call this person? Why did not I call that person? Why did I talk to this thing? Why did not I talk that? So much. And one is not able to come out of the guilt even after many years of listening of Vedanta also. Because guilt and this doership, they always go together. They always go together. And that is how in Taittiriya Upanishad, the lakshana, the characteristic of a wise person has been shown. Kimaham sadhuna karvam, kimaham papam akarvam. This kind of a notion, this person, wise person, is free from. What is that, Swamiji? Kimaham sadhuna karvam. Why did not I do the good actions? The whole life was there. I should have done this before. People have this guilt also in terms of Vedanta study also. Swamiji, I should have studied this thing before 10 years, 15 years, etc. I should have come in contact with Pujya Swamiji before. Then I could have, started early. Now this is old age, and anyway, I am trying my best and etc. etc. And so this guilt one cannot avoid. Kimaham papam akaravam. Why did I do the wrong action? I should not have done that. I should not have done that. Why did I do this? Omission and commission will always remain. That is the load. And more than that, when you perform an action, as agent of an action, the result of an action, well, is being uncertain and lots of anxiety, tremendous anxiety. And therefore, all this load goes away. Actions will be still performed by the doer, so-called doer, the doer which, just a seemingly existent doer. It will be done, but he has no more load. He is a free person. A actionlessness is not, shows a freedom of the person. That is why we call this as a moksha. One who knows Atma is akarta is having a moksha, this person. And therefore, this doubt should not be there that the person is performing a lot of action and he is a wise person. He tells also that I am akarta, etc. and still perform a lot of action. How can he perform? Well, he can perform. With the doership he performs, but that doership is not a reality. The person who asked the question is very, very genuine person. Definitely. He asked the question that without doership, well, how can the action is performed? And he says, I am not a doer. Well, then the action should not be there on his part. But still we feel that he is doing a lot of activity. Then the doership is there. And doership is always centered on the self. And therefore, how can this person is called a jnani or etc. Well, this thing is there. Kartrutvam is negated, yet perceptually it is there, seemingly it is there, and with that badhit ahankara, badhit kartrutvam, he performs all the actions without really getting involved into it in terms of a agent of an action. This person is called sarva karma sannyasi by Bhashyakara. So this is, and Bhashyakara of course, and then he said, he Krishna karma krut, etc. He has done everything that has to be done because he knows now Atma is full and etc. Purnam, etc. Therefore, it has been told like this. Now this is enough for this verse. We will go to the next verse. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grunhati naroparani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि Anyani sanyati navani dehi.
Anyani sanyati navani dehi.
Now here we should first let's go to the verse, and we'll see the word meaning. So yatha naraha jirnani vasamsi vihaya. We have to rearrange the words, which is called syntax. It's called anvayaha in Sanskritam. Anvayaha means you arrange the words in such a fashion so that you are able to understand the meaning of the sentence. And the beauty in the Sanskritam is you can put any word anywhere. Unlike English, you have to put a particular word at a particular place. Like Rama is walking into the forest along with Sita and Lakshmana. This is a sentence, suppose. This is English. Here, you cannot take away the word Rama from the position where it is right now. So, is, and then walking is Rama, and forest, Sita, Lakshmana, and. You cannot do that. Could you follow? So, in Sanskritam, any word can be arranged, it can be put anywhere in the sentence, anywhere. Because the word carries the meaning by itself along with the prepositions. Like in English, all the words have to be arranged according to the prepositions which required to give the meaning. In the forest, right? So I have to put like this only, in the forest. Forest, the in. That will not give the meaning. Could you follow what I am saying? And therefore, every word carries the preposition along with it, which we call, that preposition has been given by those vibhaktis, the cases. Like the Saptami vibhakti is there. Then if you say Rame, or say Vane, and Vane, Vanayoho, Vaneshu. So Vane is enough. I have not to put any preposition. Vane means automatically in the forest. And therefore the Vane I can put anywhere, because the meaning along with the preposition is there with itself. Then the sixth case also is there. Ramasya. Dasharathasya putraha Ramaha. Well, then the sixth case carries the meaning of a relationship. Of the. Definitely it goes along with. Then fifth case carries the meaning of, the from the, etc. So from the village, Gramat. That's all. When you say Gramat, it's enough. In English, you require 3 words. From the village. In Sanskritam, Gramat is enough. So that's how the whole word, you can take it anywhere. But then, so that's how especially in the, what happens, in the verse, according to the meter, they have to put the words. And therefore, basically, they reshuffle the words. Even in Bhashyam, you will find this way. Bhashyakara just keeps on, I feel so. I imagine that way. Bhashyakara is, dictating the Bhashyam to his disciples. And as the words, arise in his mind, he must be telling. So in Bhashyam also, even though their sentence is not the verse, that's like a prose form, still you will sometime have to arrange. Because every word carries an independent meaning. Even though it is connected in a sentence, all the words are connected to a one word in a sentence. That's called verb. Every word is connected to the verb. Well, sometime I will talk about it. But so, syntax, anvaya, is we can do on our own. So, here, vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. So, I am arranging. Yatha jirnani vasamsi vihaya. Yatha, just as. Whenever yatha comes, you have to understand it is a illustration. So, just as yatha naraha, we have to take that word also. Yatha naraha jirnani vasamsi vihaya. So, just as naraha means a person. Just as a person, vihaya, giving up old clothes. So just as a person giving up the old clothes, aparani navani grhnati, and takes up wears the other clothes, new clothes. And tatha means illustrated. Yatha means illustration, tatha means illustrated. So tatha means so too, dehi, the indweller of the body, jirnani sharirani vihaya anyani navani sanyati. Same way, means just as this person gives up the old clothes and wears a new one, same in tatha, in the same manner, dehi means this indweller of the body, jirnani sharirani, giving up the old clothes, vihaya jirnani sharirani, giving up the old bodies, anyani navani sanyati, he takes up new clothes, new bodies. This is how it has been told. And so now we'll go through the first meaning of Naraha. Bhagavan has used this Naraha. This Naraha is a very, very beautiful word. Naraha means an intelligent person, basically. Intelligent person, but it has much more meaning in this. Naraha is generally used for a human being. And they say that this human being, a human being is a human being. Only he has this kind of a things. What? Yesham na vidya na tapo na danam, jnanam na shilam na guno na dharmaha, te mrittiloke bhuvi bhara bhutaha, manushya rupena mrugaha charanti. He is a human being. He has a human form. One who has a human form need not be a human being. That's what this Subhashitam tells. This Subhashitam tells he has a human form, but you should put this person into an animal category. What are you saying? Yeah. Yesham na vidya na tapo na danam, jnanam na shilam na guno na dharmaha, te mrityu loke bhuvi bharabhutaha manushya rupena mrugaha charanti. Mrugaha charanti. This manushya rupena, in a human form, these animals are moving around. Why are you calling like this? See, he has a human form, but he does not have this many things. That's how we don't consider him as a human being. What are the things he doesn't have? Yesha, for those, na vidya, he doesn't have a knowledge. Na tapaha, he doesn't have any austerity. Na danam, no charity. Jnanam, no skills. Na shilam, no character. Na gunaha, virtues. Na dharmaha, he has no, he doesn't follow dharma, etc. Te, such a people, such a human forms, mrityu loke, in this earth, on this earth, bhuvi, bharabhuta, they are burden on this earth. These people, in a human form, they are all burden on the earth. Manushya rupena mrugaha charanti. Mrugaha means animal. Mrugaha means a prani, animal. So manushya rupena, he is in the human form, but he should be considered as a animal. And the very first thing is yesham na vidya. Well, the person who doesn't have a knowledge. Basically, so naraha means one who has all these things, and well, he is considered only as a human being who possesses the who possesses the knowledge, who has a austerity, who has a skills, and who has a character, etc., etc. He only is a human being. And somewhere else also is been told like this: Sahitya Sangeeta Kala Vihinaha Sakshat Pashuhu Puchha Vishanahinaha. So this is just by the way. Sahitya Sangeeta Kala Vihinaha. He is a human being, but he has no interest in literature. He has no interest in music. He has no interest in any art form. Well, Sakshat Pashuhu. He is just a animal. Puchha Vishana Hinaha. Well, this animal has a tail, etc. And animal must have also some horns also. But this animal, this human being is an animal without horn and without tail. This is how it is. So Naraha has a beautiful meaning. Well, I will tell that meaning tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।